Hey everybody, it's Patrick at the Pitch Check. We're here with Fab Squad number 4. It is a casual tournament that is going to be held by Nate Schneider at Little Root Games here. They have their own stream type of thing going on. First time Nate's actually trying this. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at round 5. There's only 5 rounds because there's 23 people. So we're going to look at my winning in because coming into this, I was 2-2. I won 2, then lost 2 right after that. This was me being 9th place at the end of round 4. So let's go ahead and roll with this. The Levia is going to be on Spell Void 4, AB2 with Shadow Hooves. And we were asked if we want to be on stream for the win and in type of thing. We were in on table 5, so we were basically that point there for the win and in being in our table as well as our placement because we looked at the placement before. So we do have Nate's plus Ashley Briggs being the commentators, but I am going to be reviewing and commentating myself so that way you guys can kind of understand my process there during this, what I was playing, why I was playing it type of thing. These dice are actually really nice for stream, but I don't know if I'm gonna get them for my personal use. I could because they look a little bit better on stream here. Whenever I go for my Shoulder Pro games, they may look better, but he had to go get his die, I think, so we're sharing die so that I have my own and he has his own. So Levi comes in for wanting to go first so they can fill up the graveyard, but that's why I win the dice roll and I go first. I am stacking, so AB2, I can still get through with this Lesson Lava so that way I can find the Gazy Ages. So Gazy Ages is going to be into my hand along with Blazing, I think is in my hand. Yeah. So we can put the Blazing along with another buffer piece. So that would be pretty good for it. To buffer this, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So with Banish, we play Gaze, come back to our hand type of thing. We were trying to search for Potion, but I noticed that maybe sometimes the Banish won't have a really good opportunity, so I overpitch just to make sure that maybe there's a 0 cost that I see like a prog and things like that. So we're just going to get it out of our way. What we see is a Fate Foreseen and a Wildfire. So there's a Wildfire that we see. We can put that onto the bottom. So we're already at 6 because the only thing we have extra is the Gazy Ages. And then we just pitch a KANO and then we can just go about our way. So we put 1 Wildfire down to the bottom, Lessons on top, and then 4 cards underneath. So with the Wildfire underneath, we can go with... we can go 2 ways about it. We can go Blazing, Gazy Ages, blue, or we can go blue, Blazing, Gazy Ages, so we have a buffer, but then basically if we want our hand to be Wildfire, we would have to have like basically 4 blues after the Wildfire, so that way if we ever go 1 over, we can just pocket the Wildfire into the arsenal. We don't do that, so we're just going to have to bank on maybe overblocking and not diluting our stack with unnecessary pieces and then take a pretty good stack already. So we go with Blazing, Gazy Ages, blue. So this allows us to have no arsenal, which is nice. So he has to fill up his graveyard type of thing. There's no threat to us here to... get any danger here for us. So it's nice. We have 2 blues that we don't want in our stack, but we have another Gazy Ages, so it's a pitch stack buffer card, which is really good. So we can just go ahead and put a KANO. Go ahead and Banish off the top and see what's off the top there. Sorry about that. That was my phone going off. Hopefully you didn't hear that. It was some National Weather Service type of thing going off on my phone. I'll double check while this goes on. This top card here is a Red Flare. I debate on this because it's another combo piece that I can put into the pitch stack potentially. There is a few cards that we need in our pitch stack against brutes to really go have a solid stack. Basically, it's about 4 multiplicative spells within that stack. I took out 1 flare and 1 spindle for the sideboard pieces because I sided in 7 additional cards for the basically non-equipment. So Howl from Beyond with this, there is the possibility that I do have a Gaze the Ages in my hand. There's the possibility of using the sink here and then maybe just pocket the flare into my arsenal. Or sorry, the Fate for C, not the sink. So there is a blue that I can put underneath to allow the stack to get faster, so that way that I can fill the Gaze blue quality into my stack. Not necessarily a must need whenever you put a Gaze the Ages, because then you can just put maybe this red flare underneath and then do the 2 blues. You just have to remember that. So this coming in at 11, I just go ahead and block 12. I am 1 piece shorter or 1 piece slightly slower, but there is the point of maybe potentially using it if there was using that towards my stack if it was a low impact turn. So I can probably just like block 6 if he didn't have anything going because he still needs to fill up his grave. So then I pass back because then there could be some instances like agile windups. So it's still Gaze after the Gaze blue. So we got Smashback, which means typically whenever Smashback comes in, or like the Goblet version of Warrior and Brute, that one is that one's the Warrior version, this one's the Brute version. They typically don't have Go Again because they would need the Go Again afterwards. If they had a piece of Go Again, then they could use the Smashback to have a surprise factor of the turn being more impactful after blocks. So you play it. It can also fill up the graveyard, which is also a reason to consider playing it before attacks, even if there is a Go Again. So this comes in for 9. This is a very easy block. I could probably just block 9 here, and I've already got a Wildfire in my stack, and then play the potion, and then be on my way. There's no need to play this potion. No need to play this Fate. I don't have a blue that I'm going to be putting into my stack anyways. Like there could be a blue on top that I see. There can be not. Sorry, I jumble up my words. There might not be a blue. There's nothing guaranteed. That's why sinks are so good, because instead of like choosing 1 card off the top, you're choosing from 3 or 4 cards. But because I played this particular potion here, he does Arg Smash. The better version of this is Smashing Performance, which he does have in his deck. There is the chance that I'm just basically thinking I don't need to let this resolve. Hang on, I want to think on this for a second, because I can just pop this and there's no downside to it, which I do. So like, no downside. Actually rolls a 6, so if there was 3 items, they would all be destroyed. But there's not much that he can do anyways, and he's still taking 3 damage, or sorry, 1. Yeah, 1 damage, because there's only 1 card there for Blood Debt. So we think about this just for a second. I think I did a really good heads up play. We prevented the potion from being destroyed. We can still use the Fate in Arsenal and not IP ourselves, because we have another sync or defense reaction that's going to be in our hand. So that can go in the Arsenal next turn. So that clears out the Arsenal IP awkwardness, as well as the 2-for-1 that's going to be coming in for the potion that we cracked. We see a really good piece. We can just keep it on bottom or top, things like that. So there was no downside to do the fate as well as the potion. So we can get some extra damage in here with this lesson of lava, and then just shoot basically for 4. And take note, he only has AB2. So if he only wants to AB1 here, he has to pitch the card in his hand. So there is the possibility with no 6 being in his hand, or like a 6 attack, most of them being whiffs. So it's possible that it is Blood Rush Bellows. I haven't really seen it. Oh, okay, so there we do see it. It is Blood Rush Bellows. Just keep that in mind because I just noticed that just now. And a lot of the reads for KANO is not what your opponent does, but also what your opponent doesn't do. So just keep that in mind. We do have the possibility to just KANO here. And then there's, I think this is a tome, so I have to think on this. It's a tome of Findle, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So we do I'm like Chandler Bing whenever it goes to that. We do rip the tome of Findle. Ripping the tome of Findle does get it faster. We have like turn 8 and we can get to it really quick. We have not taken any damage. We've chipped as much as we can, along with some of the blood debt. So we can put out this depot later on if we can like hold on to it. It's worth the IP, I think. Because if you slightly overshoot or have an awkward hand, then that's a possibility. But we did get into a tome of Find Out when we drew, which is nice. So we can put that in our stack. This is another red tome. This is a Tome of Aetherwind. So that's why I'm thinking on some of the things that I could be drawing into. There could be whiffs. There could be things that I just can't pitch into my pitch stack. I've already got a blue into my gaze, which I forget. I think I forget that there was one that was in there and it's meaningful. I'll tell you in a second here. We do draw this. So I'm willing to IP myself for this depot, like I mentioned. We have a blazing with a blue. And we see another red tone, but I keep it. I keep it on top. So there's a possibility of me getting another whiff into this. So it's tone blue, blue, tone blue, blue, tone blue, blue type. Sorry, tome draw 2, tome draw 2, tome draw 2 for this first cycle stack. I would be way advanced into the stack fast, really, really fast. There is, however, me drawing into the whiffs like I keep coming back to. That's why I want to wait. And then there's potential to put this into my stack as well. The whole stack of 4 multiplicative cards in my stack against brutes is also something that we've discovered. 2 epots and or a combination of 3 tomes. So you either need 3 tomes or 3 epots, or vice versa. If you have 3 pots, you need to have 2 tomes. If you have 3 tomes, you need to have 2 epots. This guarantees that you have enough resources to go off on combo turn. So we do have a Blood Rush coming in, no whiffs in hand. Shadow Centipede coming in. And it's another Blood Rush that comes for his hand here. So because I have Oasis in my hand and Tunic counter is on 3, I've yet to use it. I really just want to make sure that my Oasis is being used off of Tunics as much as possible. So I'm just going to stay at 5 here. I do have a sync that I want to use this turn because I want to make sure that there's another blue that goes into my tome because I had it to be Blaze Tome Blue. Unfortunately, I can't make it to where the tome can be less a better blocking card. I can't just put tome straight away for this attack, but I can do it for the next one. So I do get into the sink, another defense reaction. So I would have drawn into the Oasis and the sink, I think, because I had the yeah, I would have drawn into it because I had the Oasis come off the top. Plus a blue, at least one defensive card when I did that. So the smashing does come in. He pitches the since it's an expensive attack, there could be the possibility that you don't pay for it. But we just remember that I didn't take one for that one there. So we use the sink. We're putting this home back into play. And another defensive card, which is why my hesitancy for the tome is coming across. So there was three defensive cards that was going to be in sequence or within the top 4 of my deck. 3 whiffs, 1 non-whiff when I decided not to rip the tome of Aether Wind on my previous turn. I wasn't bleeding for damage. I wasn't needing to hurry up and get to stack. But it is good that I was able to get a piece that I can put into my arsenal. So now we have it to where there is tome into my stack, and then I need to get blue into the bottom of my Tome of Aetherwind. I'm now seeing another Tome of Findall, which is I think my last one. Because I used one and then pitched one. So now he is going to be doing an Art of War turn, clearing out a little bit of blood debt here to play the Howl from Beyond. And it is super unfortunate that he only was able to draw 2 reds for this Hungering Slaughter Beast. I think that's what it is. I'm glad the cards are being updated on the right-hand side. This is really good. Yeah, Hungering Slaughter Beast, because sometimes my mind doesn't really catch it here. So we actually get the 6s to come across, so the blood debt is turned off, but he was only going to be at 1 blood debt if there was a miss. So it's coming in for 10. So we can just block 8 here. I'm going to pause just for a quick sec here. We have Oasis. We have 3 block. We can just hold the Oasis. We can potentially clear out the Oasis with one of the blues. So just basically get the blue that's in there anyways. But I'm advancing my stack sort of faster by just pitching this blue to KANO that I'm holding. But the thing that I'm thinking of is cover 4 and then basically cover the entire 10 because there's 6 block plus the Oasis and then gain 1. So I go up to 26. Fully covering this out, getting the blue that's into my pitch stack underneath my Tome of Aetherwind. But I won't have an arsenal that's typically meaningful, meaning that like I can't do anything for defensive sake. I would have to just take all of this in terms of value for the next turn for my Tome of Findall turn. So that is potentially a better play. I can just pay the Oasis with the blue here and then go about my day. But this is fine as well. It is basically a very small min-max. And he draws 3 beasts within. So we just go ahead and advance our stack. I think that might be our first blue underneath it. But see, if this was like a Tomo Findal turn, I would be okay to just take this 6 and then potentially gain 5 back. So there's, and then just put the lesson in my arsenal as maybe a combo piece later on, or a tempo piece as well. Whatever I would be able to draw afterwards. So I just send this for 4. So that is a point that I should probably make that I'm seeing this, is that not a lot of the time Levia will use her hand effectively. Basically, me doing this, I just guaranteed that his Blood Rush Bellow is going to get this Beast Within trigger. It was going to be a 50-50 shot. Now it's a 100% shot. It's still going to chip the damage, but let me back up really quick. I wanted to see what I was going to draw if I did the Toma Find Owl here. So we would have seen Scalding Rain off the draw along with a Fate, I think. So we would have been able to reload our arsenal with a Fate and then just keep the lesson into our stack. So that would have been good. We would have seen 2 measly blues, I think. So yeah, nothing too impactful, but it just gets it faster. We can get the health back type of thing. So there's nothing too crazy. Just a little bit of a slight min-max. Even though my blue that I pitched to just do 1 KANO, I paid for it for not advancing so much more faster. So I got to keep that in mind. So yeah, it's a guarantee that comes in. Yeah, so he can come in with that. Take 1 damage. So he does have 3 blood debt here. He has to be able to turn off the blood debt. The blood rush isn't going to be doing too great into turning off blood debt. You have to banish it. So we're going to do the same thing. Tunic, Oasis, stay at basically no damage. There is an on hit, it would matter, but so somewhat not great of a blood rush turn. And then remember the turn where he did play his first blood rush, there was a second one in his hand. So now all the blood rushes are technically like out of sight, out of mind. The pitch, I will reach pitch stack before he reaches his last blood rush. So we just pocket the Fate here. So there's a Hunger Slaughter Beast as well. This is going to get replaced with a Go Again card that's coming in Misspell that is going to be insane. Off the top of my head, I just cannot remember the name because I'm not a brute main. So this is coming for 7. There was a lot of misses in his graveyard, and he does miss every one of them. So we get to have an additional 3 damage go toward the Levia and cleanly block 7. I think I'm at the point where I'm okay putting this blazing into my arsenal. I think from now on, I think this is a red. Yeah. Okay, this is actually really good. It was a red flare on top, and I can cleanly play this red flare and just deal basically a whole bunch of damage. If I had it my turn, I could have just gone up to like 25, 27, 26 maybe, somewhere in that area. A little bit higher than I am now if I did the Toma Findal play, but it is all good. I think I'm still playing very cleanly up until this point. When it comes to this min-maxing that I'm saying that I could have done better, it is increments, like maybe 1% better, 2% better. It's just something that I'm seeing as I'm reviewing this. So we are going to be using this as our action point and then just getting an additional 4 damage in. Very clean play, I think. I'm not necessarily clogging my arsenal just yet. As well as I know I blocked with my second wildfire, so my third wildfire has to be in my arsenal, which I think comes up in my hand to be in the last wildfire. So this is Art of War. He used one previously, and I think he pitched one. So this, he pitched one at the very beginning with the CNC. So this is the last Art of War here as well. So banishes, he just basically needs to do this so he can turn off Blood Debt. That would have been a really good play to play the swing big. So we just do this here now because I think mentally I'm already knowing that I don't have any other value of getting this helmet, so I don't think I'm seeing my E-pots any too soon with this type of thing. He's just gonna destroy this. Yeah, it's not very great. Listen to my really good English. It is not a great card to keep in your arsenal, and the value is way better. Just go ahead and discard it. Not very great. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? So here we're going to go ahead and KANO. This is a red tome that I'm seeing off the top. And then here I'm a little bit sus about me actually playing this. I have my counts almost close to perfect, but I forget as well later on. So that's why I'm thinking about this. I think this is around 57 or 58, give or take maybe 1. So if I banish this, it would be 59 and then draw into my stack. I for sure am going to be drawing into my stack. That's why I hesitate for this, as well as me having the D-pot already. I'm just going to keep it and then IP myself just to make sure that I don't run right into my stack. So we're just going to keep it there. We're going to draw 1, 2, and then 3. So if we had, so we're exactly at 60, but I don't know that. I don't know that we're exactly at 60. I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more cards to go. I think a little bit. So I don't, that's why this play here, I'll show you in here in a second here. When I go for the sink below, something in my mind was telling me, I should just went with my gut, honestly. That something in my mind was telling me that there was, I shouldn't sink. I don't know why. I don't know why I did sink. I should just wait, because then there's this E-pot. I can just play it, but then that was my last E-pot, I think, drawing into it and whatnot. My E-pots were not showing up, which is, I mean, good that, you know, later on down the line when you do need them. That's why I'm hesitating, and I should not have sank into it, because I'm at my stack and I draw into my wildfire that I had opted to the bottom. Now, again, this is fine. This is recoverable. That's why we IP'd ourselves when we did the D-pots, that we can make sure that if we do go over, that we have a little bit of a fallback here. This is just a random for this one here. I think I have to keep both of these here. I think I just have to take this. So he needs to turn off Blood Debt. But if I had, he would have 2 floating after. If I didn't sink and I just went for the next attack, he had 2 floating. Okay. So this is go again, and then he claws. So if I didn't sink, yeah, I would win. I would win here. Sorry, spoiler alert. Sorry. I would win here if I say sink, no sink, and then he goes into attacking with claw, and I just take claw. What I can do is Tome blue D-pot along with another one, because I know it's going to be Wildfire, Blazing, Gaze blue, gaze blue, type of thing. Previously I mentioned there was a bit of an oopsie on my Tomofine Del turn when I was off the top, along with, yeah, it was the double tome turn. That was a turn that I put an extra blue underneath my gaze. And I'm going to be basically eating that blue here a little bit. So I IP'd myself to make sure that I have the resources for this. So this is coming in for 6. This is a red one. This is a bit rough here. But basically I would have been able just to clear out the Spell Void last turn after no floating. And I can just probably scare him after when I showed the blazing basically. So we get he gets to turn off Lead Debt, increase it to 5. It's coming in here. We want him to like commit to lethal here. I do know there is a set of 2 blues underneath this pitch, as it's going to be 2 blues because I drew up my last card was a gaze. So I know it's going to be gaze blue blue. And then I'm pretty sure that it's going to be gaze blue blue underneath it as well. There's a slight bit mistake that we are going to be talking about as I go through this, but we're just going to fast forward, forget, and then before I block, I'm just going to take this and go down to 5, and then a Shadowing Centipede coming in for lethal. Sucks that I'm not at 6 and I can survive with just Tunic. That sucks really bad. So we can go with it sucks that we have all these reds here, but we're helping out with these 2 E-pots plus with the tome that we have in my hand. We have the 3 tomes because there's 2 tomes in my stack and I have to get to those tomes, but I basically slightly forget my pitch stack. So we need to go with Wildfire, Blazing, and Tome D-pot. So that way that the Tome can be in the bottom and the 2 blues I was going to gaze can be just drawn into it along with the gaze blue to blue. So that's what we do. Go ahead with this one. We're going to go ahead and pop D-pot. Make sure that those 2 blues that we know that are underneath it goes into the stack. Yes, I could just use this gaze. I don't necessarily need it because then it's going to be another KANO that I need to get to clear that out of the way, and I just don't have it. So that's why I don't play the gaze or put the gaze into my stack. Because I would need the resources that I don't have right now to clear it. Basically, KANO, 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 4 KANOs in a row. I don't have the resources because now I am 1 resource short of doing that. Basically the potion and nothing floating. I wouldn't have had everything I could do with that, basically. I could just... I don't know. I don't think I could have done it, so I think I did it correct when it comes to that. Now I know that there was there. I know there's a gaze on top with 2 blues. However, this is where I slightly mess up. I gotta remember everything. It takes me for a second to remember there's a gaze blue blue. Then I don't remember what's after the gaze blue blue. And I have to stop there at that point. I think in my mind there's probably another tome. I have to remember all the tomes that's in there, so that's what I'm looking for in terms of the graveyard search right now. Go ahead and... So I know for like a really good chance of me having the gaze, because I remember going gaze blue blue, gaze blue blue. But there is the possibility of just shooting this wildfire. We go ahead and pop these 2 resources. And I'm not so sure. I'm still like thinking maybe I can go wildfire, wildfire, blazing. But the way to clear out this first wildfire is to make sure that he uses AB2 and then his spell void, because he's forced to AB2 if I just go like nodes on it or something. I need that second blazing. So yeah, I do remember that it's there. So it's coming back from my hand because I'm going to be opting to. Put those two to the bottom. And this is where it kind of like hurts me to do it. So let's double check. It's like a random blue prog on the top because I mess it up slightly as well as slightly forgetting. And that's what can turn like a pitch stacking game on their head. If you have it perfectly sequenced and like you're going through it, but your mind kind of fails towards the end, that's one of the things that can make or break a pitch stacking game. And I'm going to cover that later on when we go on to the finals for the semifinals of the Calling Warsaw. So there is a way that I can get out of this somewhat. I should have done it earlier, but now I'm not. I should be blocking this attack, blocking it with the tunic and then the card that's in my hand. That way I'm blocking 4. I'm only taking 2. I go down to 3. Typically, I guess it doesn't really matter. Blocking 4, taking 2, and then going down to 3 isn't the worst as going down to 2. But the reason is going down to 3, I can kind of cleanly block a mandible claw and not necessarily die to like a 5 power attack or whatever, because when you get low enough, the claws really hurt when they can just potentially give it go again off of the agile windups or just windups in general, and KO has that more pressure. So here, I should be sending this for 4 and then sending for 1 and then 0 and then see if he can do anything else, because I can't win with what I'm doing now. And I should be not doing this play that I'm going to be doing here in a little bit. Looking back, it kills me because this is deterministic lethal. I have to block. One of those things that whenever you get kind of caught up on your own pitch stack and you don't think, and you kind of like, oh, I don't really know. I'm pretty sure there's a tome here. And if you're not 100%, then you shouldn't take a more of a higher risk. Then you can just like, oh, block, save life, go to the next thing. So I hesitate on this like wildfire thing, and I should have sent it. I should have sent it because I can't pump this at all. So I keep fiddling around with the idea of sending it, and I should have sent it, and I shouldn't have done this because I think there's a tome on top and it's a blazing. So let's just go ahead and skip. That's what kills us basically. I'm doing all the math in my head of how this can't kill either, because there's 2 floating. I can Storm Striders, Wildfire. There's still a card in hand, AB2 to the first Wildfire, because if it wasn't an AB2, then I would be fine. If it's a red, he can't AB2 at all. He would just be able to just take all the damage, and I still kill. So there's a lot of things to consider here. And that's what I'm kind of like, I'm hesitant to KANO or send this. I need to know what's going on. So I think sending before KANOing should have been my clue to just go ahead and then think about what I can do afterwards. But I do this and then there's a blazing and then I die because of that. And I think my outs there could have been better outs. Yeah, and this was basically is what I was trying to figure out is the tome was next, and then the tome blue, and then the tome blue. Pretty bad beats down story, because the pilot error of like myself was forgetting stuff. I forget sort of the stack that I had. I should have saw the Terministic Lethal, and I could just block and then clear out the Spell Void. So that was kind of a pilot error, and just me. It was all down to me. 100% loss on my end, doing everything perfect, and you just still die because of that. I want to take note. Aaron played really good. Aaron didn't actually make it into the top 8. I don't know his placing in the thing, but I don't know if I would have won that I would have been top 8. There is the potential that I could have just stayed at 9th. That has been a thing that I've actually done before, where I just say 10th or 9th, and basically I stay at that same place even if I won. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys took some advice from this particular match for pitch stacking and kind of seeing the mistakes that I did towards the end. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.